Brandon Swanson was alive when he made the call. His parents heard his voice. They heard him walking. They heard him talking. And then they heard him say one final word. After that moment, Brandon Swanson was never seen again.
And what makes this case disturbing is that his parents were still on the line.
Disappearances usually happen in silence, but this one didn't. This case is different because we know Brandon was alive for nearly an hour after he went missing. He wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He was talking to his parents on the phone. And yet, he vanished without leaving a trace. Brandon Swanson was 19 years old. He was a college student at Minnesota West Community and Technical College. Friends described him as calm, polite, and responsible. He didn't have enemies. He didn't have problems with drugs or crime. He was close to his parents and spoke to them regularly. There was nothing in his life that suggested he would disappear voluntarily. There was no reason for him to disappear. On May 14th, 2008, Brandon attended a small gathering with friends. Later that night, he decided to drive home alone. Around midnight, his car went off the road. It landed in a ditch on a gravel road in rural Minnesota. Brandon wasn't injured. His car still worked, but it was stuck. Instead of calling the police, Brandon did what many young people do. He called his parents. At 12:30 a.m., Brandon called his father, Brian. He said he had crashed the car but wasn't hurt. He believed he knew where he was. Brandon thought he was near the town of Lind. His parents got into their car to come help him. They stayed on the phone to guide each other, but something wasn't right. They couldn't find him. Brandon was confident he knew his location. But his parents were driving through the area he described. They didn't see his car. They didn't see him. The more they talked, the more confusing it became. Brandon believed he saw lights from a nearby town, but those lights were miles away. Without realizing it, Brandon was walking in the wrong direction. Brandon decided to leave the car. He said he would walk toward the lights. He stayed on the phone with his parents the entire time. They could hear his footsteps. They could hear wind. They could hear water as he crossed a creek. For nearly 45 minutes, the call stayed connected. Brandon was alive. Suddenly, Brandon stopped talking. His parents heard him shout, "Oh shit!" Then the line went silent. They tried calling him back. No answer. Again and again. Nothing. That was the last time anyone ever heard Brandon Swanson's voice. Police were notified immediately. Search teams were sent out with dogs, drones, and helicopters. They found Brandon's car exactly where it crashed. But they found no footprints, no clothing, no phone, no body. Searches continued for days, then weeks, then months. Nothing. Some believe Brandon fell into water and drowned. Others believe he collapsed from exhaustion or hypothermia. But no remains were ever found. No phone was recovered. No physical evidence explained where he went. The land was searched repeatedly. Nothing appeared. It was as if Brandon simply vanished.
Why did Brandon think he was somewhere else? Why didn't his phone location help? Why was nothing ever found after such an extensive search? And most disturbing of all, what caused him to shout in fear during his final moments? No one knows. Brandon Swanson didn't disappear quietly. He didn't disappear alone. He disappeared while someone was listening, while help was on the way. To this day, his parents still wonder what happened in those final seconds. The call ended, but the mystery never did. The case remains unsolved.